Hello students, how are you all? Welcome to this amazing session. And this is Shweta Roy, your English master teacher at Vedantu. And today we are going to read a wonderful poem, Rain on the Roof, which is from your NCERT English class 9. And I hope you will enjoy this poem because this is the perfect time to, read and enjoy the beauty of rain because this is the monsoon season, right? So let's begin with today's amazing session. I hope you all will enjoy reading the poem along with me and analyzing the poem. And yes, of course, enjoying the beauty of rain. So, a gentle reminder to all my lovely students about registering for VSAT 2020. So, you can register for free. The link is given there. Please follow the link and get yourselves registered and win assured scholarship. And also Vedantu Pro subscription. The link for this is given in the description box. You can use the teacher code SWRPRO to avail the discount, and the discount price is 2699. And follow these few simple steps to subscribe yourself to Vedantu Pro subscription. So first is select grade, second is select target, third is get subscription, and fourth is choose your plan, where you are done with your subscription when you are using the code SWRPRO. You will have the features of live interactive classes by India's best master teachers, personalized attention in class, full recordings of all the classes along with notes, assignments, tests, and many more. And you also have your structured long-term batch, which is in sync with your curriculum, all chapter-wise courses to cover one chapter at a time, and of course, complete crash course. And the best part is that you can plan your own study according to your own schedule. You also have test series, assignments, learning material, regular performance reports. And we are going to start off with the poem right away. And we have divided the session into two parts. In the first part, that is in this session, we are going to have an analysis of the poem, wherein I am going to read few extracts from the poem. So I would recommend you to keep the book with you. And I am going to analyze what the poet is trying to say and what is the message that we are actually getting from this beautiful poem, and what is the feeling, what is the emotion that is arousing in us when we actually read the poem. So you enjoy the poem sitting there with me. And the second session, we have doubts and mentee. Okay. So I hope you will enjoy this. Rain on the Roof. Yes. The poet is Coates Kinney, and he is an American lawyer, politician, journalist, and of course a poet. And he is the poet of this beautiful poem, Rain on the Roof. So before I start with the session, I would ask you: have you read any other poem which is related to rain? If you have, then please do comment in the chat box below. Right? Well, I have read another poem by H.W. Longfellow. How beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat in the I guess in the long and fiery street, somewhat like that. I don't exactly remember, but yes, I do remember how beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat. And yes, the rain is indeed beautiful after the scorching heat. We all eagerly wait for rain to come, right? So rain is actually beneficial and it is necessary for everyone after the scorching heat of summer. And yes, this is the perfect time, as I told you, to uh, enjoy this beautiful poem and feel the essence of rain, right? So I will begin the session with a beautiful quote. Some people feel the rain, others just get wet. And that quote is by Roger Miller. So how many of you over here love rain? So please do comment in the chat box. So how many of you actually feel the rain? When I was a kid, whenever it used to rain, I was when at your age, whenever it used to rain, I really went up to the roof of my house and I used to get wet. And not only get wet, I also used to feel the rain because I really loved rain. Okay, still I love rain, but unfortunately no time What we have become too occupied in our busy schedule. So, really, what is life if full of care, no time to stand and stare? That is what has happened with us right now. So, yes, but I do realize after reading this poem that we have actually become, very much we are leading a very robotic life nowadays, and we forget to get in touch with nature, to be in sync with nature, which is very much essential so that our mind cools down and we rejuvenate ourselves, we associate ourselves with the bounty of nature. And with that, my question to you, which I want all of you to answer right away in the chat box, is do you like rain? And what do you do when it rains steadily or heavily? So I narrated my incident. I used to get up in my roof and I used to enjoy the beauty of rain, get drenched in the rainfall. What do you do? Please comment in the comment section. I would love to read them all. So now I'm going to begin with the poem itself and I'm going to read the stanzas out to you. So I hope you will also uh, take care to read the stanzas. When the humid shadows hover over the starry spheres. Now, the poet is saying the humid shadows. Now, you can see over here the dark clouds, right? So, they are the humid shadows because they are filled with humidity, which cause the rainfall, right? They hover around, they are moving around all over the starry spheres. Now, what is the starry sphere all about? Sphere is the earth, so like the entire sky. So the dark clouds filled with humidity, filled with droplets of water, are hovering around the star-filled atmosphere, the star-filled sky, right? And the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So you can see over here that the poet is saying that melancholy darkness. So the darkness is melancholy. Why is it melancholy? Melancholy means sad because it seems as if the cloud is weeping, right? So gently weeps in rainy tears, and the cloud is weeping, the cloud is crying, and therefore it is taking the form of rain. And then the poet says what he does to enjoy this beauty of rain. He presses the pillow of his bedroom and he listens to the patter, that is the sound of the soft rain overhead. So when there is actually a roof which is not like the pakka houses, the houses made of cement, not about that. He's not talking about that. But when the roof is actually made of asbestos or tin, when the rain falls on this type of roof, what happens is you get a sound, you get the pattering sound of the rain. And here the poet has used patter of the rain, which is a sound word, and that is onomatopoeia. Okay, so that is the figure of speech that the poet has used over here, onomatopoeia, which is the pattern which relates to the pattering of the rainfall, right? So that is what the poet is talking about in the very first stanza, and I hope you really enjoy the first stanza. And yes, darkness darkness has been personified, right? uh, because it is I told you that the sky is sad, so it is dark. And so the clouds are personified, it is melancholy darkness, right? So darkness cannot be sad, so therefore that there is personification. And also you can say that the poet has used transferred epithet over there, right? Because what is transferred epithet? When epithet means adjective, okay? So when the adjective is transferred from one noun to the other, that is known as transferred epithet. And here in this line, melancholy darkness, actually it's not the darkness that is melancholy or sad. It is the people who are melancholic or sad, right? And we are now going to look at the second stanza, okay? So let us see the second stanza. But before that, I would like all of you to answer these questions. What does the poet like to do when it rains? Do you like rain? And what do you do? Oh, ये तो हो गया था ना? Sorry, this was already done. So my question to you over here is, what does the poet like to do? And how is the poet being different? Do you do the same thing or do you do something else? Okay, so that is what you need to answer. And in the next stanza, he says, every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start. And 1,000 recollections weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. Okay, so what is he saying is he starts to dream. Okay, right, he's saying that the rain is falling on the rooftop, and he is listening to the pitter patter of the rainfall, and he is having dreams. Okay, he's dreaming about it, he's having pleasant dreams, 1,000 dreamy fancies. So he is having fancies, he's fantasizing, right? And 1,000 recollections weave their air threads. That means he is also recollecting certain memories. So he is actually associating the memories with the pleasant, fond memories that he had in the past, with the sound of the rain, right? So the sound of the rain on the rooftop is actually making him recollect, making him cherish the wonderful memories of the past. And then we will talk about the poetic devices that he has used in the second stanza. So I am looking at the second stanza. Please look at the second stanza. You can see busy being over there, right? So the sound of B is being repeated. That is alliteration. Okay. Then their thread, again TT, repetition. You know what is an alliteration? Repetition of the consonant sound in the beginning of a word, and it then continues in close proximity. Okay, so yes, rain, roof, busy bee, then their thread. These are the examples of alliteration. And then again you have the tinkle on the shingle. Again, that is the onomatopoeia, that is sound word, which is the sound which is made by the rainfall. And then yes, again, transferred epithet is dreamy fancies. So fancies are not dreamy, right? So the epithet dreamy, dreamy is the adjective, right? So the adjective or epithet dreamy is transferred from the poet himself to the fancies. So fancies cannot dream. It is the poet who is dreaming, right? So that is the example of alliteration, transferred epithet. And with that, we move ahead with the third stanza, which is a really very important stanza. But before that, please do take a note of these questions. What is a bliss for the poet in the poem? And how does the poet enjoy the pitter patter of the soft rain lying in the cottage chamber bed? So this is what he is actually dreaming. So he talks about, now in the third stanza, what he talks about is, let me tell you, let me read the third stanza. Ek minute. Now in memory, so he, in the previous stanza, he talked about the recollection of fond memories. So when he listened to the roof, he actually could recollect, actually could remember, recall the fond memories from his past. Now what exactly, what memory is coming to him, that he is talking about in the in the very next stanza. Now in memory comes my mother. So it is the memory of his mother, as she used in years agone to regard the darling dreamers ere she left him till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I list to this refrain. List is listen, okay? Which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So what is he saying? He's talking about the fond memories of his past, right? And he is saying, yes, that she used to leave him till the dawn, till the break of the day, daybreak, right? and he's saying, oh, I feel her fond look on me. So when the sorry poet used to listen to the sound of the music, what did the mother do? The mother left him like that and allowed him to listen, and also looked at him very fondly. And that is what the author is right now memorizing, cherishing, and at the same time missing. Okay. And then, yes, we will talk about the figure of speech or the poetic devices that the poet has used. First is alliteration again, memory, my mother. Okay, look at the book. Okay, memory, my mother. Please underline and write alliteration. Again, darling dreamers. That is again alliteration. D sound is repeating. Onomatopoeia. Again, what is that? Patter, again used in this stanza. So these are the figures of speech in the third stanza. Please be very sure to underline them and write it as well. Question for you. How does the memory of his mother haunt the poet? When does the thousand dream fancies begin to weave in the poet's mind? So think about these questions. And now it is the time to see some words, look at some words, difficult words or new words, and enrich your vocabulary. So these are the difficult words. You can write their meaning if you don't know. Humid, wet, starry, full of stars. Melancholy means sad, as I already told you while I was teaching. Bliss is happiness. Cottage is hut, small hut. Chamber is room. And patter is, I told you, it's the figure of speech onomatopoeia is used over here. It's talking about the sound created by the rainfall. Pitter, patter, that is the sound, right? And overhead is above head. Tinkle is the ringing sound, again onomatopoeia. Woof is again sound word. Yes, word to describe a sound. Agone means past time. Is before. Shingles means small round stones. Dawn is early morning. Echo is reflected sound. Dreamy means dreamlike. Fancies is imagination, fantasizing. Okay. Recollection is recollection of memories, cherishing the memories. Weave means to weave, the pattern of weaving. Now the questions that you need to look at when you read the entire poem. Okay. So you can see in the entire poem, he's talking about enjoying the beauty of rain, listening to the music created by rain. And that music is very close to nature. That music is heavenly. So throughout the poem, he's talking about the listening of the raindrops falling on the roof. The title, Rain on the Roof, itself is justified when he talks about the rain falling on the roof and the music that it creates, which relates to also his past memories and brings in his past memories, right? So now the question is, what is the effect of the sound of the rain on the heart and mind of the poem? This is a basic question, and this is the most important question that can come, because the entire poem talks about the sound of the rain and its effect in the heart and the mind of the poem. Okay. So yes, the heart and the mind of the poem reacts very strongly to the rain falling on the roof. He has a very blissful mood. That is, he has a very happy mood. He also, what does he talk about? He talks about his enjoyment of uh, his enjoyment of lying in his cottage, pressing his pillow against him and listening to the music of the rain. And this music stirs an echo in the heart of the poet, and like he his heartbeat responds to the sound of the poet, and he gets engrossed in fanciful and dreamy thought. And also the rain reawakens many memories of the past, and it also revives the memory of his mother. Now the second question is, that is important again, does everybody have a cozy bed? So here he talks about his cozy bed chamber, where he goes and presses his pillow, and he enjoys listening to the music of the rain. So what do you think? Do Does everybody have a cozy bed like the poet has in the poem? Look around and describe how different kinds of people or animals spend time or seek shelter. Now, this rainfall has, yes, the rainy season has both positive and negative effects. Positive because it mm, gives rise to crop. Rainfall is essential for the crop, so very good. It's a blessing for the farmers, right? And yes, it gives us relief from the scorching heat, as H.W. Longfellow himself says. Um, how beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat in the long and fiery street. And then I forgot the next part. Okay, but yes, it gives relief to us. But there are people, especially the animals and other people who are living on streets, the beggars who are living on footpath, who do not have a shelter, right? How do they manage, right? So it is really very difficult for them to manage. Some people who are living in thatched cottages, some people they have leaking roofs, so it is very 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 difficult. Water enters their house, they come, water is, water keeps on leaking from their roof, right? So it is very difficult for the animals also, as well as these poor people, and also the people who are living on streets. They do not have a shelter on the top of their head. And yes, ये मुझे याद आया, I remember when Amphan came over here, Bengal, created a huge trouble, because here in my near my area what happened was, uh, because of that, great super cyclone, बहुत ज़्यादा speed में आया. So you all know that entire thing got disrupted, internet connection and all, everything got disrupted. And also, uh, as I came to know, near my area, two cows seriously injured during that time, right? And I don't know what happened after that. And the doctors, we actually they approached the owner of the cow. He also approached the doctor, but the veterinary surgeon, like surgeon or doctor, I don't know whom, but he refused to come. So this is the problem that the animals face, right? Some animals like cats, dogs, they actually find, they are, very cats, they can take care of themselves. So they are said to have 9 lives. So it's not a problem for them. They can just go somewhere, sneak in somewhere and sleep comfortably. But the animals, the domestic animals like dogs, sorry, not dogs, cows or goats, who actually live in, I don't know where, but yes, it creates a great problem that I have already experienced. Like I have seen, witnessed, not experienced, but yes, I have witnessed. So this is the problem. Okay. Next is, what virtue do you find in the sound of rains? So yes, the sound of rain is pleasing. So this is the virtue that we find. It's very pleasing. And when we hear the sound of the rain, we actually engross ourselves in listening to the sound of the rain. And if we actually listen to the beautiful heavenly music created by this pitter patter of the rainfall, we will forget all our sorrows. We will merge our sorrows with the sound of the rain. And we also sometimes feel nostalgic and find ourselves, we start to dream, okay? And we remember the sweet memories of our past. Just as the poet, he remembers the sweet memory and the fond memory of his mother. So, yes, so this is the virtue that we find. And now my question is for you: when you were a young child, did your mother tuck you in as the poet's mother did? So the poet says that my mother used to look at me. She actually, when I used to listen to this sound music of the rain, she used to tuck me tight and she used to observe me with fondness, with love. So was your experience same when you were a child? You need to answer this in the comment section, and I hope you all will come up with beautiful answers where you can pen down your thoughts. Okay, so time for learning a new word. It's pluviophile. Now, what is pluviophile? Pluviophile is a lover of rain, someone who finds joy and peace of mind during rainy days, right? So, how many of you are what do you think? Are you a pluviophile? So please do comment in the comment section regarding this as well. And thank you so much for listening to the video. I hope you have enjoyed and you have been able to engross yourselves in the beauty of the rainfall. Rain is it's a blessing by nature, right? So thank you so much and see you. Take care. Bye bye.